So over the weekend, while I was driving on a bad road, so I was going to this garage in Frafraha.
Okay.
So I decided to use inside Adenta areas.
Okay.
So there's some road between Victory Presby Church, some lungus be like that.
Really bad road.
Yeah, Charlie, all those areas were bad. So some guy calls me and says his bank had charged him for withdrawing money from his bank account to his wallet.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding is that per the law and the fine print and per the BOG's regulation, if Francisca Kakra Forsen owns a bank account at Aloski Bank, and we know that this is her name and this is her national ID, if she's pooling money, that's the word they use, if she's pooling money from her Aloski Bank into her MTN or vice versa, it should come at no charge. Quite a number of people have complained that the banks seem to have taken advantage of the e-levy removal to have basically imposing unrealistic, unjustifiable, and plainly illegal charges on transactions. I am so what I want to do is I want to ask people to send me date it happened, name of bank, name of network, and how much they charged you.
Okay.
Now, Neil Ate of the newsroom was at a program where the governor of the Bank of Ghana was. And he asked the governor a question. The governor responded. But his governor is also asking us to report these matters to a particular unit of the BOG. So what I want you to do for me is, if you have so you can do it, you can pull money and send it to me. You can decide that for this experiment, you will go into your bank account
I'm pushing it to myself
and just withdraw like say 200 cedis and then send it to me and check whether you were charged.
No, if it is to you, that one the charge is normal, right? But if it's to myself, then
but you need to know. You need to know if you are charged.
So, Ben, this is the charge. 4 cedis, 25 pesos.
Stop spoiling my market.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm saying that pull the money into your account.
Yes.
And then send it to me so you can check, because when you pull it to yourself, you can compare that when you pulled it from Susu to his bank, and then Susu sent it to Bernard. From Susu to his bank, he was charged, and then from Susu to Bernard, he was charged. I want us to compile, because NIE is compiling these complaints and sending it to the BOG.
That's correct.
All right. So whilst I'm joking about this, a very serious point. If your bank has done what you consider an illegal charge, because remember that when this topic came up, we read what the BOG said. The idea of having a Ghana card was that if Richard the last guy is a customer of a bank and he's also a customer of a telco, the bank and the telco know he's the same person. So the only reason why he would be charged money, withdrawing money from his bank, is that they didn't know that Richard Sky of MTN is the same as Richard Sky of this bank.
Okay.
But with the Ghana card,
it's been synchronized.
It's almost illegal to not synchronize it. So there's no way Bank A can say they don't know that Richard Sky, who possesses this phone number, is the same guy who possesses bank account. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the bank account has a Momo number attached to it, because the national ID links both. So there should be no excuse that charge was because I'm not sure it is Richard Sky. So we need to send these banks doing this and the incidents to the governor to deal with it, because I think it's two things. It's disingenuous, because I suspect that the banks feel that because e-levy has gone, customers are more tolerant to charges of some kind, or they'll forget, or I don't know. Because most people say this has become quite serious post e-levy going.
Wow.
So you cannot, you can't do that. So please send us those, and I'm going to play later on what the governor said about this, because he has been speaking about this matter.
It wouldn't be bad if I can announce my number so they can send.
No, that's what I was saying. Caleb was trying to destroy it.
So the basis of the argument is that if you are sending from your own bank account to your Momo, then you are the same person. So there's no basis for charge. But if I send to you, then
there's a charge.
No,
I was paying somebody money and I used Momo to bank. Look, let's be honest. These services are great services. I needed to pay somebody some money. He wanted cash, and I didn't have a driver to send. And then he said, "Oh, just send it from your bank to
your Momo."
From I didn't know. I didn't even know I could send from my Momo to his bank account. He gave me his bank account number. When I put his bank account number, so I did *170# send to another something. When I put his account number, his full name came.
Yes.
To his bank account.
I'm telling you.
Well,
So I send money from my, and if you charge me for that, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
It's a service you're offering me. But if I am in anticipation of doing this service, taking money from my own account
to my Momo.
Do you understand? That's my problem. If I'm sending money to you,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the bank charging me. But what the banks are doing is that now they are charging us for even accessing our own money.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this is something for me. We are going to forward these things to the BOG, and we are going to give them a deadline to deal with it.
Can I add something?
Otherwise,
some
they'll
of
be
the
colluding.
banks also say that, we only do MTN, Momo linking. So if you do Telcel Cash, we can't link it. So it's a different wallet. We'll charge you. So that's another thing that needs to be addressed. Some of the banks, you can say, I'm a Telcel user. If I remember correctly, one of my banks, I said I want to link it. They say, we only do MTN.
Why?
So if you have another one, we won't link.
Why?
So that's another part of the issue that needs to be addressed.
And that also disadvantages Telcel
the funny
users.
thing is they will have your bank account, your number on your account. If you are using their app, the number
They know
will
you.
say myself to send, but they'll still charge you because it's not linked, quote unquote.
We have to deal with this matter, and we're not going to let it slide. All right, we seem to be getting a lot of feedback on this thing about charges. I remember speaking to somebody from the Bank of Ghana a year or two ago on this, and the person was very clear that you should not be charged for bank to wallet transactions of your own. I think I spoke to John Ewua, if I'm not mistaken, and he explained this. You can be charged for wallet to bank for a different bank, as in for a different person. So basically, you are charged for transactions, but moving your money from your bank account into your wallet is not technically a transaction, right? It's not technically a transaction. So where is the charge coming from? The governor spoke about this. I don't know if you have the audio clips, very, very short actually, but I just want you to, because the journalists asked him at the recent MPC post press conference. So this is what he said.
Charges on mobile money accounts. Transfer between wallets, yes. Transfers between wallets and
It's your chin again because I found it a bit cute.
or otherwise.
So simply put, if you are transferring money from your mobile money wallet to your bank account and vice versa, you are being charged. And I'm asking what the bank's plan is, because if you want to look at financial inclusion, this is actually the service. However, if you look at the data pack, you realize that total deposits between March and April dropped. So I want to find out what the bank's assessment is when it comes to the reason for this drop in total deposit, if that particular issue is also a contributing factor.
Okay. Well, it's something that came to our attention, that some banks were imposing this type of charges. We are looking into those. I'm aware of one particular bank where that accusation came up. My director of fintech is not here. I would have asked him to give you the specifics, but that is very much, that is very well noted. If you can let the director of communications know about which particular bank. Do you have of a particular bank? Yes. If you would like to volunteer, you can speak to the head of communications in confidence. We are happy to look into the matter. Okay.
Governor?
Well, Governor, this is much more serious than the way the question and the whole interaction seems. This seems very relaxed. But I can say to you that this is a very serious matter. And particularly coming on the back of the e-levy removal, I think it's something that's more serious than it's being made to appear. He says one bank's name has come up and therefore they are looking into it. I think this is because for me, the reason the e-levy was so obnoxious was the fact that it went so much against financial inclusion and the whole digital agenda, basically charging people for wanting to do the right thing. We wanted to reduce cash and we said, let's all go digital. And then you impose a tax on it. Having removed the tax, some banks have decided that this is the best time to reintroduce this essentially illegal charge. Because I am not a banker, but I understand that a transaction is different from Do you understand? A transaction is essentially, I owe Sky money, I send him money from my Momo to his bank account. I understand that you should charge me for that. Yeah. But the banks advertise and say, oh, now you don't even need to come to the banking hall. Use our digital banking channel. They make it seem like, Charlie, it's actually the way the future is. Link your Momo to your bank account so that you don't need to come to the banking hall. So things are easy and convenient. So why are you now saying, when I am just withdrawing money from my account, you know I'm the same guy, it's my own money, I'm yet to do a transaction, then you're charging me? I think it's completely wrong. Now, from the way the governor spoke, he's saying that it's possibly one bank or two. Caleb and guys, when you look at the messages we're receiving, okay, do read the messages without mentioning the bank's names, but let me know how different these banks are, right? This is something that has come on this show before. It was discussed
in February last year.
Yes, and there was a lot of anger, and then there were assurances from the Bank of Ghana that we're going to deal with the matter. Yeah. Somehow, I think they stopped for a while and then they've resumed. Yeah, so if you can, I don't know, you help
so
me.
Bernard, I really do not get so this is about the driver's parts. Okay. This person says, my bank charges from account to wallet maximum amount of 10 Ghana cedis. That's Ruben. Bernard, I bank with Anytime I transfer funds from my bank app to my Momo, I get charged 1%. It's been so all these times. This is Eddie from New Legon Adenta. For my banks, they charge when I move money from my bank account to my mobile money number, and that's 1% of the withdrawal amount, no matter how many times. That is coming from
so
what he's given his account
attached a
details.
Percentage to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this person says it happens to be after e-levy. They charge 1%, capped at 20 Ghana cedis when I'm pulling money from my bank account onto my Momo. This is Bernice of East Legon Hills. Hello, Bernard. All banks now charge a 1% fee for bank to Momo and vice versa. No notices were given, but all of them now charge the 1%. This has been going on since the removal of the e-levy. Good morning, Bernard. My bank is charging me 10 Ghana cedis for all transfers to my Momo account. At least all 3 different transfers attracted 10 Ghana cedis each. Good morning, CBS. I was charged 10 cedis for withdrawing money from my wallet to my Ghana Pay this morning. My name is Richard. Hi, Bernard. My bank actually deactivated bank pull features on their app, forcing us to send money on their app, and then they charge you even if you're sending money to yourself. That's Abdul. Good morning, seniors. Some bank is the lead in this banking charging thing. Asafwache Abolo inside Boom. Hi, Abraham Odate. He's given details of 10 CD charge debited to his account by his bank. Good morning, Bernard.
Are the banks being mentioned the same bank or they are different banks?
No, they are different banks.
How many have you seen so far?
Before he deleted, I saw about 3.
3, because yes. I think the view from the top is that this is just one bank doing this, but you've seen at least 3 banks.
Yes, I've seen at least 3 banks, and I also saw on my phone some messages 3 banks charging differently from 0.3%, 0.5%, and 1%. But one bank in particular is notorious for charging the 1%. Okay, so this person says, good morning, Bernard and team. On these bank to wallet Momo transactions, we need to confirm whether or not the funds transfer is via the bank's own mobile app or via the *170# USSD, and that's coming from Chris in Oyarifa.
Chris, why does that matter? Because the fact is that my bank knows I am the Momo customer, because I don't even know how many times I have to say this. The purpose for linking your bank account, in fact, there was an announcement that you needed to link your Momo wallet to your Ghana card, and the same was done with banks. Now, if you want to open a bank account, you must verify with your Ghana card, and that is the single source of truth. So this bank knows that Bernard Avle is the same guy who has that MTN number, because it's the same source of truth. So there's no way you can say you don't know that I'm the one. And the excuse they gave was that there were some banks that hadn't done the linking.
Well,
so they were interpreting the movement of money as a transaction. Now that we've linked it, now you are telling us a different story. Somebody's saying that, well, it's a service, a third-party service provider that does the money removal. It's not the bank. So therefore, they deserve to be paid. I'm like, no. There are people who do cross-person transactions with Momo. Do you get it? So they should have enough money to make there. But to now say that I am removing 1,000 cedis to send to Sky, you charge me 1% for the 1,000 I've removed.
And then you charge him.
I mean, that's and I think the governor should not take this serious, because you see, Neil Ate's question also included now the drop. People are very sensitive to. You see, right now, we will not let the opacity of technology be used to steal our money, because we are not giving small money chance. So this idea of, oh, it's a service. No, the service provider have enough ways of making money, including across bank transactions. So, and the deleterious effect of e-levy can be worsened by this. So I think the governor and the Bank of Ghana must see this type of behavior by the banks as an illegality. It should not be treated as a different banking model. It's an illegality. There's no justification for doing that. It's like going to a bank and saying, I want to know how much I have in my bank account. Then they'll charge you for it. That's essentially what they are doing. That's wrong.
And then, you see, if you look at it, there are two sides to it. So you withdraw the money from your own account. They charge you, right? And then if you are now sending that money to me,
they charge you as well.
They charge you again.
Yeah.
I think you are losing value for
the same amount.
The same amount.
Just
and it's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
It is complete, and there cannot be any justification for it.
They are claiming that a third party does technical work and needs to be paid for it.
That is not the point. As you stated rightly, banks have various means of making money, and they are always declaring huge profits anyway. Right? So if I have to go to a bank and I know that I have only 1,000 Ghana cedis in my bank account, and I need to pay, Kakra, 1,000 Ghana cedis, right? What it means is I will be unable to pay Kakra 1,000 Ghana cedis because by merely taking that, they will tell me first of all, you don't have enough money. So you have to do something other 1,000 Ghana cedis. And then when you are sending that money to Kakra, then it is further completely unacceptable. You cannot allow this to continue. So the central bank has to come down heavily on the banks that are misbehaving in this space.
And last year when we had this conversation, the point that some of the banks do not have access to the data of some of the customers, we spoke to Professor Atefo at the time, and he clarified that about 191 financial institutions have access to NIA data. So when it comes to the NIA part in terms of the Ghana card and onboarding process with the banks and their systems, more than 190 of them have that access to the data. So that argument, if it should come up, will also not stand.
This is very Sky, by the way, I take cash, so the 1,000 make it.
Cash is queen.
So far, we've received a number of banks, at least 3 banks that have come up. So it looks like it's not all banks that do it. And that is even what makes it worse. Right, so the fact is that we have about 18 or 19 banks in the country. So if only 3 are doing it, it means those 3 are essentially, as they say in UK, they are taking the piss. Why are they doing this? And also I want to encourage people to move. For me, I think, look, the way customer service has got into now, even if my bank will charge me, they should have the courtesy to tell me. To not tell me and just remove the money, for me, it's bad faith. So if your bank treats you like that, you need to advise yourself, because we are in a competitive environment. And for some banks, the selling point may be we are more transparent and we are going to be more honest with you. All right. So you cannot just start imposing a charge on me without even having the courtesy to tell me. It's just not right. And
a friend in the banking space says most of the banks have been applying those charges way back. We only introduced ours beginning of April, just when e-levy 2 was kicked out.
Why did you do that?
Exactly.
Who told you most of the banks have been charging that? We have not complained. What's your problem?
That's the e-levy going away there smuggling.
All right. No, so please send in those comments, and we will send it as received to the communications department of BOG. Francisca, more comments.
Yes, trooping in many comments. PK from Kaswa says, hello, Bernard. For my bank, I'm unable to transfer money from my bank account to any Telecel account, but I can transfer to an MTN mobile money account. Hello, Bernard. I save at The number linked to my account is my MTN, and I'm always charged on pulling money to my bank. I have another MTN number not linked to the account that I do some transactions with, and it's also charged when I save money, when I move money from my account to it. That's Eko Mensa Bedu from Dansoman. Hello, City. My bank, even before e-levy, was not charging clients for transacting between bank accounts and Momo wallet. Now there's a 1% charge on such transactions capped at 10 Ghana cedis. I've decided to move my account from there because really they are one of the banks with very few branches and ATM machines across the city. It's ridiculous. Good morning, Bernard and team. My bank always charges me 10% of the amount I transfer from my account to my Momo
10
wallet.
or 1?
This person says 10%, but I'm sure he meant 1%. This has been going on for a very long time. I have raised this with the bank, but they keep charging me even after they promised to work on it. That's Edward Morgan sending that in. Good morning, CBS. Before e-levy, my bank had charges for account to wallet and wallet to account, and no one had any issue with it. E-levy made us pay double charges, and that was when the complaint started. Now e-levy is gone. I don't see any reason to complain, and that's Kwame. That's an interesting view. Hello, Bernard and team. Please find my bank account mini statement. On May 11, I was debited 707 Ghana cedis, having transferred 700 Ghana cedis to my AT money. You can see the beneficiary being my name. I've also attached the AT money notification and the bank SMS notification for the same transaction. I'm always deducted 1% anytime I do a transfer.
Okay, so clearly there's a pattern established. So look, we shouldn't be doing this work for the bank. The Bank of Ghana should be doing this job. They should have a feedback system. So we are basically just helping them. But what we're saying is that this is contrary to public policy. This is not legal, and these are essentially banks creaming of people, and the central bank should not allow this to go on. If they don't act, they are also culprits. So that's basically the point.